What's up everybody, it's Kelsee Briana J here with a review on the Kylie Jenner the Royal Peach palette. Now this palette was highly anticipated and I got it off of her website the day that it released. I had no trouble grabbing it and I know that a lot of you guys wanted me to do a review on it, so of course I obliged. So the outside packaging for this palette is really cute. It has like a sketch of her eyes. I'm not sure if it's a sketch or it looks like an animation of her eyes. The box is trimmed in blue because the name of the palette is the Royal Peach palette, and then on the back of the packaging it says Kylie pressed powder eyeshadow, and then it has the names of the eyeshadow as well as the ingredients for some of the shades that are inside of the palette. My palette came in this pretty big box. It was packaged really nicely. I didn't have any problems with it kind of flipping around when I picked it up. It felt pretty secure how they packaged it. On the inside it does have her name as well as like dripping, I don't know what that is supposed to be, but it's like some type of liquid or gel or something dripping down on the design. She's pretty famous for that design now because all of her products have that. Also in the box she gave us a little postcard with the same eye look, and it says, "I wanted you to be one of the very first to see and use my Royal Peach palette inspired by my peach look during New York Fashion Week 2016. Enjoy, mwah, Kylie." So that's a really cute little touch. I like when companies have personalized letters in there. That one is a copy of a letter, but she wrote it, so I think it's still cute. I ordered this palette on the 12th of January around like 3 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, and I did not get this palette shipped to me until January 17th, and it wasn't actually available in my hands until January 19th. In today's standards, that's like forever. You guys know most places have like maybe a 1 to 2 day processing time and then they ship it off. So we had to wait 5 days until they processed it. And I really don't think that that's acceptable, especially since they know how hyped up her products are, and I think her team really needs to work on that and work on getting things to their customers quicker, because time is everything, especially as a beauty vlogger. Like if I don't have it on time, then it's going to be irrelevant, and a lot of things I buy are just to review for you guys. This is not necessarily something I felt like I absolutely needed to have, but I know a lot of you guys would want to know my opinion on it, so I went ahead and picked it up. On the inside of this packaging, let's go ahead and dive right in. The actual palette does not have the same design. It says her name Kylie and is in a rose gold font. I found that to be an interesting color choice. I would have personally picked to have my name written in a blue font or like some type of peach theme on the palette, but that's not how it is. It is a cardboard packaging, very sturdy cardboard packaging. It closes by a magnet, so I'm not too worried about me dropping it and my eyeshadow's breaking. It seems pretty sturdy. It's white, but it's laminated. It's not going to get dirty like it would if this was made of fabric. So again, on the back it does have the names of the eyeshadows. The eyeshadows on the back of the palette are written like how the eyeshadows are inside of the palette, which can be confusing like if you're doing tutorials trying to explain which color you're using. So say for instance, the color sorbet is listed right here, and then the color sorbet is right here in the palette. So that can be kind of confusing. You just have to be aware of that when you're actually doing a tutorial. So on the inside of the palette, it does come with a little mirror. So if you want to use this mirror to do your eyeshadow, you can. Also, this palette came with a brush. It came with a fluffy blending style brush. This brush reminded me a lot of a MAC 217 brush. I tried to use it in the demonstration initially, but it was a little bit too scratchy for me, so I had to switch because I do not like scratchy brushes. Anytime a brush gets too scratchy, I cannot use it. I don't know if it will soften up with washing it, but I really don't think so. I think it's the bristles of the brush. The brush is not weighty at all. It's white again, and it has Kylie written on here, and it's written in peach now, so it's not the same color as what's on the outside container. And then it has like the rose gold here, the rose gold ferrules. So then we get to the inside of the actual palette. So this eyeshadow palette looks really cute looking at it. Like this palette is something different than what's on the market. Even though Too Faced has a peach palette, I think that this one is a fresher take just because it has more colors, just a more variety of other colors besides neutrals. Now I do think that they could have put maybe maybe 2 more eyeshadows in there. I think that she was missing a shimmery highlight color, as well as she really could have benefited from having a deeper brown color than this one, and that way we wouldn't have to reach for another palette to do a look, but she didn't. So those are the only 2 colors that I feel like would have completed this palette. But otherwise, I do like the colorway of the palette. I think that she chose some different unique colors. Initially looking at the colors in this palette, not a lot of companies would have chosen these colors to go together because they're not necessarily colors that go together, but they do complement each other. So there are 12 eyeshadows in this palette, and each eyeshadow has 1.40 grams of product, or 0.05 ounces of products, which is pretty standard in the eyeshadow market. So I don't think these eyeshadows have a ton of fallout. I've used eyeshadows from higher companies that had more fallout than these, but I think that these are formulated pretty decently on that aspect. But there is something that is pretty alarming to me when using these eyeshadows, and that is that these eyeshadows smell very heavily of some type of chemical substance, and that may not bother some people, but if you guys watch my channel and you see any review I do ever, you guys know that I'm a big smell person. So if something doesn't smell good to me, I cannot use it. It's a super potent smell, almost like plastic got mixed in with the batch of eyeshadows, and I can't. You know how sometimes eyeshadows get old and they have like an old rancid smell? It doesn't smell like that. It smells like chemicals. Mel actually called me a little bit earlier and was like, have you smelled your eyeshadow palette? And I'm like, no, not yet. So as soon as I smelled it, I was like, oh Lord, here we go. It doesn't make me feel safe and secure knowing that I'm putting something that smells this strongly on my eyelid. It doesn't burn, but I did have some sort of reaction to it because my eye did start tearing up. My eye's tearing up now as we speak. Like, this one is a little bit watery. So I don't know what actually is causing this. If you still have the desire to try this palette, the eyeshadows did perform relatively well. I did have to go over a few shades a little bit more than I would have liked to, but it's not the worst performing palette ever. If I were going to give this palette a grade of A to F and take out the factor that it smells weird, I would give it a B, but adding in the factor that it smells weird, I'm going to give it an F. I'm sorry, I can't get past that smell. This palette retails for $45. You can get it on KylieCosmetics.com, and to say the least, I'm disappointed. I don't dislike the palette. I feel like the colors look pretty good on my eyelids. I could make a really cute look with it. I like the way it's set up in the actual palette. Most people had really good things to say about the burgundy palette, and I didn't pick that one up, but when I saw this on her Snapchat maybe a month ago, I knew that I wanted to try this one for you guys just to see what I thought. But I feel like I'm just on the short end of the stick with Kylie Cosmetics. I've ordered something from her 4 times, and every other time is something. So the first time was the lip gloss, and the wand was crazy, and then the second time was a lip kit, and I had no issues with that, and then here's this, and the eyeshadows are smelling weird, and I just kind of am disappointed. I'm not kind of disappointed, I am disappointed. I think that they should go back to the drawing board because this is a really cute concept, but I cannot wear this. Like, absolutely not wearing this on my eyelid. The other downfall of ordering from her website is that there's no customer service number. I am a human contact person, so I like to talk to a person to really get an understanding of what's going on, and that's not a possibility with her company at this time. So I am going to still give you guys swatches and then a tutorial. I also wanted to compare this palette to the Too Faced Sweet Peach palette, and although both of them have the same centralized theme of peaches, these palettes couldn't be more different. Without actually knowing the name of the palette, there's nothing that indicates that the Kylie palette is peach themed, but looking at the Too Faced palette, you know that it's peach themed. And what I found to be really ironic is that even though the Too Faced Sweet Peach palette is the more peachier palette, it smells like peaches, there's not that many peachy eyeshadows in the Too Faced palette. So I thought that that's pretty funny. I prefer the quality of the Too Faced Sweet Peach palette eyeshadows, but I prefer the colors of the the Kylie Jenner palette, but if I were going to pick one or the other, I would definitely stick with the Too Faced Sweet Peach palette. This palette smells like peaches. This palette smells like chemicals, and so I'm not a fan of that at all. I can smell the difference of the palettes, like just holding it up right now. I think that the Kylie palette is a little bit more edgy in their color selection, and if you look at the Too Faced Sweet Peach palette, it looks more neutral with like a pop of peach, and then Kylie has like several peachy colors, so I do like that about her palette. I've set my piece on it, and we'll see where we go from here. Let me know down in the comment section if you guys plan on picking up this palette. I will have it linked where you can purchase it below. So I am going to go ahead and jump into the swatches in the tutorial, and I will talk to you guys very soon. Starting by prepping my eyes, I'm going to take my MAC paint pot in the color Soft Ochre. I'm going to take a little bit of my Laura Mercier translucent powder, set my paint pot. I'm going to first dip in with that blending brush with the color Sorbet. This is going to be my first transition color. I'm going to switch brushes and continue blending Sorbet above my crease area. This is a MAC 217. And then I'm going to move into the color Peachy and apply this directly into my crease. And then I'm going to dip into the color Cinnamon here, and I'm going to focus this color right on my outer crease. Switching brushes to a flat shader brush, I'm going to take the shade Queen Bee, and I'm going to apply this on my inner tear duct. I'm going to switch to the color Duchess. Then I'm going to take the color Duke. And then I'm going to go back with Queen Bee and my pencil brush and pack it on so it's more intense. I feel like the color that I put on my outer corner disappeared as well, so I'm going to go back with, this is a MAC 214 brush. I'm going to go back with Cinnamon, and I'm going to put some of that in my crease, even though it's not adding a bunch of depth. If they had never given the visual with the eye look with the blue on the bottom, this would be an eye combination that I would wear anyways. Like, I really feel like these are my eyes. This is Marine Ultra Chromographic Pencil by MAC. I'm going to apply this as my base for the blue eyeshadow. I totally forgot to do my concealer. I like to do my concealer before I do my bottom lash line, so I'm going to go ahead and do that now. So I've finished off the rest of my face. I have everything that I use listed down below, so let me go ahead and finish my eyes on camera with you guys. First, I'm going to go back with Queen Bee and rim that along the bottom of my eye. And then go in with Royal. I'm going to blow this out on my lower lash line. To take a tapered blending brush, this is a MAC 221 brush, and go in with the color Sorbet and lightly go underneath the blue to blend it out. I'm done with my eyeshadow, so now I'm going to apply some mascara and lashes, and I will be right back. So these are my finished eyes. Alrighty guys, thank you so much for watching my video until the end. Please give it a thumbs up if you liked it. Tell me down in the comments section which products you want me to buy and review next. I like to get things for you guys, that way I can be the one to review it and you guys can determine whether or not to get or save your money. But I will see you all in my very next video. Smooches. Bye.